Good morning. Today, let's start with chapter number 14 Statistics. Now, what is statistics? Statistics, the branch of mathematics which deals with the extraction of meaningful information from the numerical figures collected for a definite purpose, is known as statistics. So, it is a branch of mathematics which deals with taking out या bringing out of meaningful information from already the numerical figures which are collected for a special purpose. Yes, that is statistics. So it is a branch of mathematics only, as we have learned the coordinate geometry, which is also a branch of mathematics. Now to study statistics, we need to first collect the data. So let's see what is data. Data is facts or figures related to various aspects of life which are numerical or otherwise collected with a definite purpose are called data. Yes, so data is nothing but the information, you can say, which is collected with a definite purposes, either in the form of figures or as a fact related to various aspects of life, that is data. Now there are two types of data, that is primary data and secondary data. So first let's see what is primary data. When the information is collected by the investigator himself or herself for a definite purpose, it is called primary data. So when the information is collected by the investigator himself or herself, that is collection of information directly for a definite purpose, is called primary data. Example, heights of 30 students in a class, marks of 50 students in English test. Such kind of informations a person himself or herself can collect. So these are called primary data. Another type of data, that is secondary data. When the information is collected from a source which has already the information stored, the data obtained is called secondary data. Means now for secondary data, when the information is collected, here also information is collected but not directly, the person himself or herself is not directly collecting it, but indirectly from any source which has already stored that information, from that the person will collect the data. This is called secondary data. For example, maximum and minimum temperatures of various cities, or you can say many examples are there from where sources, from the sources we have to collect the we can collect the data, that we can data, such type of data we cannot collect directly, we cannot collect ourselves. From the source only we will get it ready made. Such type of data are called secondary data. Now after collection of data, how to present that data? For that purpose, let's see what is presentation of data, frequency of an observation and class interval. So presentation of data, the way or arrangement to organize the collection of data in order to study their salient features, is called presentation of data. Means whatever data is collected, now after collecting this data, how to arrange that data in a proper form, so that one can, looking at that presentation, one can understand that what it wants to explain, that is to study their salient features, is called presentation of data. Means the way or arrangement to organize the collection of data. The reason for presentation is that so that one person can study the salient features of that collected data. Next, raw or ungrouped data. Again, now these data are two types, that is raw or ungrouped and grouped data. Let's first see what is raw or ungrouped data. The data obtained in original form is called raw or ungrouped data. Means the data which is given in a, suppose the, for example, blood groups of the student of class 9th A. Yes, any such data which are in the original form. Yeah, counting of the plants in our school, that is we will get the data in original form. Such type of data is called raw or ungrouped data. Next, what is frequency? The number of times an observation occurs in the given data is called frequency of that observation. Yes, so how many times an observation occurs in the given data is called frequency of that observation. Next, frequency table. The table in which numerical data of a particular variate with their frequency is shown is called frequency table. Now, after the collection of data, we find out the frequencies, and after finding out the frequency for the particular variate, we prepare a frequency table. Means the table in which will present the numerical data of a particular special or different quantities of measurement whatever are given related to the data, that with their frequency. Suppose, as I have said, that if we are collecting the information of blood groups of a particular class, then we will write different blood groups, that is A B O, and in front of that how many students are having A blood group, how many are having B blood group, how many are having O blood group. In this way, this type of table when we prepare, that is called frequency table. Next is class intervals or classes. To present a large amount of data more meaningfully, we divided it into various groups with minimum and maximum values. Such groups are called classes or class intervals. Example, groups may be made from 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, and so on, etc. You can take any numbers looking at the given information. Yeah, looking at the given data. These specially classes and class intervals are related to a large amount of data. Means if we are not taking, suppose 50 numbers of students, yeah, 100 numbers of workers in a factory, but when it is taken on a large amount, suppose if you want to talk about a city, that how many males, how many females are there, how many children are there. For such presentation, that is a large amount of data is there, so for that we have to group it. We make the groups according to the data, that are called classes or class intervals. Next, in this class intervals we have two types of limits. So first is lower class limit. The least number of the class is called lower class limit. Example, for class 50 to 59, lower class limit is 50. So the least number present in the given class is called lower class limit. That is, suppose if we count a group of 1 to 10, so 1 is the least number and 1 will be the lower limit of the respective class. Similarly, upper class limit is the greatest number of the class is called upper class limit. Example, for class 50 to 59, upper class limit is 59. So the greatest number which is present in the respective class is called the upper class limit. Then we have range. The difference between the highest and the lowest values of the class is called range of the data. So range is nothing but the difference between the highest and lowest value of the given respective class. Next is class size or class width. The difference between the upper limit and the lower limit is called class size or class width. Now, here we will take the difference of upper limit and lower limit. Yes. In range, we are taking the highest and lowest values of the data. Means whatever observations are mentioned in the given data, from that highest and lowest we have to first find it out, and the difference between that is called range. And class size or class width is nothing but the difference between the upper limit and lower limit of the class is called class size or class width. For example, if we take a class of 50 to 59, then you can see that upper limit is 59 and lower limit is 50. So we subtract 50 from 59, so we'll get the class size as 9. Now, class mark. The mid value of the class is called class mark of class. So, whatever is the mid value of the given class is called class mark. And to find the class mark, we use the formula upper limit plus lower limit upon 2. Means the sum of both the limits divided by 2, that is your class mark. That is, suppose the class is given from 1 to 10. So, we will add upper limit, that is 10, lower limit is 1, that is 10 plus 11 and divided by 2. So, we will get the class mark as 5.5. Next is grouped frequency distribution table. Yes. Now, this grouped frequency is used for a large amount of data. So, the simplest data in the form of groups and then frequency is called grouped frequency table. Means a table in which we can present the data is present in the form of groups with their respective frequency, and that is called group frequency distribution table. Let's solve exercise 14.1 based on all this concept. So, question number 1 of exercise 14.1 is give 5 examples of data that you can collect from your day-to-day life. Means we come across many such examples of data. So, you have to give the 5 examples. So, for solution, 5 examples of the data that we can gather from our day-to-day life are: number 1, electricity bills of our school for last 10 years. Yes. So, we can collect the electricity bills of our school for last 10 years. That is also data. Second example, number of vehicles in our society. We can collect the information of number of vehicles in our society. So, that is also one kind of data. Third, production of wheat in last 10 years in our country. What was the production of wheat in last 10 years? That also we can collect the information. So, it is also data. Fourth, number of females per 1000 males in a particular state. Means in any of the state, what are the number of females per 1000 males. Number 5th example, rainfall in our city in the last 10 years. You can collect the record or information of rainfall in our city of last 10 years, like 5 years, last 4 years, as many numbers of years you want to, and that is also data. So, many such examples are there. These are 5 examples illustrated here. So, you can write, if you want to write other examples, leaving this also, you can write. Now, question number 2. Classify the data in question number 1 above as primary and secondary data. Now, whatever examples we have written in previous question, that is question number 1, whatever 5 examples we have written, we have to classify it into primary data and secondary data. We have seen that primary data is the information of the data collected by the investigator himself or herself. And the secondary data is we are collecting the information from a already from a source which has stored that information. So for the solution, primary data, example number 1 and 2 are the example of primary data, and example secondary data, that is example number 3, 4 and 5 are secondary data. Let's cross check once with our examples. Now our first example, that is electricity bills of our school for last 10 years. You know that electricity bills of our schools come in our school only, and that are already placed in our offices, and from there we can directly take 10 years bills, and then we can collect the information and prepare a data. So this is a primary data because we ourselves can do it. Second example, number of vehicles in our society. This also a person himself or herself can collect the information of how many vehicles are there in a society. So this is also a primary data. Number 3, production of wheat in last 10 years in our country. Yes, now this is a secondary data because this already the information of how much was the production of wheat in last 10 years is stored in a respective source. So we have to only go and collect the information from the source. So it is a secondary data. Similarly, number 4th example, number of females per 1000 males in a particular state. This is also from a stored it is also a stored information in the respective source. So we have to collect from there. So it is also a secondary data. And number 5, rainfall in our city in the last 10 years. This also already record are kept, and from that ready-made record only we have to collect the information. So this is also secondary data. Dear students, please copy all these in your regular CW. Thank you.